Stop recording for now. All right, so recording for another session. I think people are already prepared for the interviews. So we'll have some more people hopefully join. And people who are already experts, they may not need to join, so that's okay. All right, so we're ready. And today's session will be about what questions to ask. And every interview in the US, whether it's a residency interview or any other employment interview, ends up with the interviewer asking you, do you have any questions for myself? Anything you want to know, right? So this is what they will be asking every single interview that I've ever had in the US for whatever, so this is always at the very end of the interview. Anybody has any thoughts about what questions they can ask?
So in my case, because one of my interviews is with the transitional year program, but they don't have, and I'm hoping to get into radiology after doing a transitional year. But they don't have a radiology program of their own. So I was thinking I could ask them if that's something they'll be having in the future. They're gonna try to set up a radiology department or residency program over there.
Okay, so do you know who your interview is with?
Yes. He is a family medicine physician, the program director over there. And I believe he's also like from Islamabad.
Okay, and so they don't have a radiology program. However, what other programs do they have over there?
They have emergency medicine, they have family medicine, and I think they probably have internal medicine as well. But I didn't really look into many others. Those are most of the ones that were mentioned when I read about the transitional year program,
Right.
because it was saying it would kind of prepare people for those specialties as well.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Yeah, you can definitely ask. How will you frame the question?
I would first tell them, like I've described in my application, I'm hoping to do a residency in radiology. Um, is that something your program is going to be offering in the future? Is that like kind of in the works for you guys? Um, Something like that, I'd say.
Right. So normally, this type of a 1 year program normally it's not a single program because you will be going rounding through multiple departments in the hospital, right? And these multiple departments may not necessarily be connected with each other. Usually, a transitional year is for US medical graduates, usually, um, for them to figure out what they want to do. But of course, anyone could avail this. And of course, this will be very important for anybody who's going to radiology. It's probably the best PGY 1 year you could do for radiology because you will get exposure to all types of specialties. And that will definitely help you out in radiology eventually, right? And possibly a radiology program would look very favorably for somebody with this experience. That's good if you can get that. You can ask you can ask. I want to ask if you have any information if possibly there might be a radiology program opening up in this hospital. If yes, that'll be great. If not, that also be fine. I will get this valuable experience for this transitional year, and this will help me shape up for the future.
Okay.
So thank you. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes, you were saying?
I was saying I would like to go there regardless. That doesn't really influence my decision. It's just out of curiosity because if I do a transitional year there, I might look to continue into a radiology residency in the future, but I would do it regardless of whether they have one or not.
Exactly. So you have to, because you're questioning them, he may not have the information. You're questioning them, he may not have the information, but you have to end this positively. That this will be great for me nonetheless.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so that's good. Anybody else has something typical before we just get into some more immediate questions and answers?
Is it okay for us to ask the programs how often they provide evaluations to their residents and in what format?
Sure, you can ask that. And they may have already explained that in their presentation. So just keep in mind So at least have like 5 or 6 questions ready, so that if many of those questions have already been addressed, you don't want to keep you don't want to ask that. So they will know what they have already talked about, or whatever is present on their website. If it's already present on their website and they have already talked about it, then you will definitely not ask the same question. But yes, um, but my question would be, why would you want to know that? No, why would you want to know that?
Because I would want to know how I am doing in my residency, and I would
No,
like
that's
to
fine.
constantly improve myself.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, you can ask it. How would you ask it? Just give me an example.
I would just like to know, like, I'll be like, okay, doctor, whatever. How often do you provide evaluations to your residents, and in what format?
All right. So you can, the way you probably would want to ask it. All right. Yes, I want to ask this question. I had this question. I also had a thought regarding this question, that what is the structure of your resident feedback program? Would love to know. And I know that is an essential part of my training, and I would love to have just a brief idea how this will be handled.
So I think you have to tell them why you're asking the question as well, right?
You could say, you can mention it. Yeah, I know this is a very important part of my training, and I just want to have an idea about how this would be handled.
Okay, thank you.
That's without really saying it, without really asking it or saying it, you're saying it. Without being intrusive or too direct.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else has any pertinent question or anything else in mind before we jump into some of the possible questions?
So I had thought of some questions to
I can't hear you. Can anybody hear him properly?
Okay, let me change my headphones.
Much better now.
Much better? Okay. So I had a few questions I wanted to ask a program director. One of these program directors, he has some history in being an artist, being an actor. So is it okay to ask someone just to get a kind of personalized question in there, that how did your acting career help you as a program director or as a faculty? What do you think about that?
Sure. How will you say it? How will you ask it?
So, Dr. XYZ, I was looking up your profile. You even mentioned in your open house that you were a very artistic person. You performed in this. And I was wondering, how has that helped shape you as a better program director or as a better faculty? And
all right, you can ask him in general. It seems you had a prior life, so to speak, and you were an artist. I would just love to hear about that, if you don't mind.
Okay. And okay, just make it general. And one more last thing. The other question I had from him is, he mentioned something very specific he did for the program as an example. Can I just say, I saw your video, you did XYZ, and I wanted to ask you that what are the other things you have done for the program or are considering to do? Because I really like that XYZ thing you did.
Can you just give me the question to have a better idea what you're saying?
So what he mentioned in the video is he did something called geographic profiling. What that means is all the residents and attendings on the same team will work on the same floor. So that's what I was wondering, if I should ask him that you did something like this, and I was wondering if what other things you had in mind or had done.
Okay, so my always with any of these is how you're going to frame the question. So that's basically what I'm trying to get from you.
Okay.
I think it's not, is it geographic rounding or geographic profiling?
It's
profiling sounds bad.
Okay.
That's a bad terminology to use. Geographic profiling, that sort of is a bad terminology to use. It's very political in the US.
I think it's rounding, geographic rounding.
It's probably geographic rounding. So I was so yes, I had one more question, and I looked up. You mentioned in one of your videos that there's a geographic rounding happening. Is that something that you started? How has it worked out? And sounds pretty interesting.
Okay. Thank you. That's a better way to frame it. Thank you for that.
Right. So it's all about how to frame it, right?
Okay.
It's all about, the whole thing for these sessions is just to learn how to talk in a normal manner and how to frame it properly. So that's all these things are, right?
Right.
So that's that thing. Okay. Anybody else?
I guess one more I would ask about is research opportunities. They did explain a bit in their PowerPoint presentation that they sent, but I would probably ask him, I guess, in the context of AI, because that's something I'm interested in. So if they have any opportunities like that, so I would just ask him about that.
So how would you ask it?
First, I would tell them, whatever I guess is written on their file that they sent me. I don't have it in my head off the top of my head right now, but I would mention that. Say, I went through it. I saw this. You mentioned this about your research, and I was just curious to know if there are going to be any research opportunities that involve the use of artificial intelligence, because that's something I'm interested in, and I think it's going to play a big role in medicine, or is playing a big role in medicine already. Yep.
Okay, you could say it like that, or you could say, and what do they tell you about what type of research help they're providing, or what is there, do you attach with a mentor, or you will initiate the project and you will have somebody possibly assisting you? Is there a research day? Do their residents actually present at some local or national conferences perhaps? What information did they provide?
I think they said that it's just mostly that you have access to a large database of theirs, but I will have to confirm and make sure, so I can get back to you, I guess, towards the end, because I don't want to spend too much time once I have the document with me. But
okay. All right. So it's all about, how you frame it. So to say that there will be opportunities, normally you say what resources are potentially available. And yes, do you have access to, is there access to the EMR database perhaps? And because you know Python, you know R, and you can probably do some statistical analysis and possibly work on prediction models, if that's what you're getting at, right? So what you will ask is what type of resources are available, or possibly technical expertise that might be available. I definitely have this background experience and knowledge, which I would want to bring forward into my residency, and just wondering what type of resources are available, or is there any contact potentially with the EMR providers that can be had?
Okay, thank you.
Right. So I think yes, just if you frame it as this, it probably may sound a bit better. All right. Okay, so you guys can come and think of more questions that you may be asking, given your specific situation. And let me just give a few questions that you could possibly ask. So let's say, for example, I love the atmosphere here, and there seems to be a healthy mix of specialties. I just want to have an idea, what type of balance are you looking to achieve for residents to work under attendings? What is the level of balance that you're looking to achieve from the standpoint of autonomy versus supervision? If you can share some light on that. They may have some thought, yeah, our attendings are always there. You can always ask questions. Maybe they're not available at night. You have during night shifts, we definitely have lots of autonomy, and you're presenting in the morning. So they may come up with answers like that, right? Then a couple of questions that you want to be open-ended questions that you can ask largely, hopefully, everyone. Let's say, for example, it is the program director, or it is the associate program director, or it is a chief resident, and you can ask certain questions that are generally open-ended, and you want them to talk about themselves and their achievements, perhaps. So, you can say, okay, let's say you're transitioning from a previous answer. Love it. Yes, definitely. I had one more question. I have one more question in mind, and I just want to talk about, maybe ask you a question about yourself, and as a program director, what do you feel has been your greatest achievement? And I would love to know if you can share something, and that'll be great. Something nice, conversational, open-ended, anybody could ask, not too wordy, but something that you can ask someone. The couple of questions in the same line that you can ask, but let me just jump to something different. So I did definitely learn a lot about the program currently. Want to know if there's something brewing, something coming up in the future, any changes to the program that are being added, perhaps. That would be great to know. All right, so that's something casual, conversational, that you can possibly have a good conversation back and forth, not just a question answer like a robot, but as actually a conversation back and forth. Then you could say, I believe you mentioned about your didactics, and I'm wondering which year do you expect us to, if you have, no, let's forget about this one, because I think most people have already done their step 3. Most people, I believe, right? Is that the case? Is everyone done with the step 3, or they still probably have not, they're not done with it? Most
I
people
have
have
to take
been done with step 3, right? Or will be done probably. So that's
Yeah,
probably not the
probably
best
will be
question.
done.
Okay, some people may not have.
Yeah.
So
We got a certification very late this year, so most people will be done around this time or a little later because of that.
okay, so it's not all right. So if you haven't done your step 3, no, then forget about it. I think just leave it, the step 3 question, because I think that would be something on you to do, the step 3 question. All right, so you can ask, let's say, for example, this is something I like, and you want to show yourself as an eager person, an eager individual. So definitely I'm going to relish my time as an internal medicine resident. But I was just wondering, are there any committees or interdisciplinary conferences within the hospital, possibly the medical and the surgical and the radiology department sitting down together and discussing a few things? Is there something, is there a possibility for that? I would love to get involved in such, to really understand the collaborative workings between different departments. I would love to be part of something like that. So getting involved in interdisciplinary conferences or interdisciplinary meetings is something they will look at. Yeah, we have a program. We normally have these monthly meetings where we have a tumor board, or we have a surgical board, and we have an ICU team who brings together different departments together. And yeah, if you're interested, we can definitely look to include you. Okay, so that is a question that you can potentially ask. Then about mentoring. So most programs have a mentorship program, and they should mention it. They should mention it. If they have not mentioned it, or not in detail, you can say, yes, I do believe that I would love to learn and bounce ideas off my seniors and the professors and attendings. And I haven't fully decided possibly on my fellowship. However, would there be a role for a possible mentor where we can bounce off ideas and get some feedback and direction from a more experienced individual? If yes, that's great. Can you share a bit more about that? So you can always ask about more details about a mentorship program. So we talked about, tell me about that, something that you're excited about. We talked about what major changes are happening in the program. We talked about interdisciplinary committees that can be formed, that can be available. With Samid's question about research, if you have research under your belt and are eager, definitely ask about how you could possibly play a wider role, wider role in the research program program. So that's always important. I think there's one question that I've used to ask and I'm forgetting right now. Anyways, it'll probably come to me. Any other thoughts? Any other questions that you're thinking about or came across?
I might ask them about their own specialty, I guess what they like about it, or
About what? Sorry.
so the program director, whatever specialty they're from, I'd like to generally learn more about that as well, because I'm not as familiar with family medicine. And that's what that program director has done for his specialty training. So I guess I would just ask him about his experience and just some good things about it if he'd like to share it.
Okay, so how would you ask that?
I've been thinking about pursuing residency training in family medicine, but I don't have too much exposure to it. So, if you could you please tell me how your experience has been and what you've liked the most about your residency training or just family medicine as a specialty?
Okay, all right. That is, I mean, reasonable. You could say, so definitely I'm here to apply for this transitional year. However, you being a family medicine physician, I would love to know a bit more about how is the day in the life of a family medicine physician. And honestly, I haven't had much exposure to such, but I would love to hear from a leader in this trade. If you can share some thoughts about the ins and outs of family medicine, if you may, that'll be great.
Mhm. Thank you.
Okay, so that's reasonable. Any other thoughts? Any other questions you feel?
How about something like about the geographical area, like you are visiting or you are doing an in-person interview and you ask them like about the particularly about that area, that how is it, or what they like the most about that area or something like that.
Okay, sure. What will you ask?
So I've been hearing that Lancaster is known for its serenic natural lakes and hilly areas. So if I have some time on my hand, so I would like to visit. So what would you recommend me to see, sightseeing or something for sightseeing?
Okay. All right, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. You can ask. You can ask for any recommendations. Exactly. That's perfectly fine. It doesn't have to be all regarding residency. It doesn't have to be. You can ask for where to visit, perhaps, where to eat, perhaps. Yeah, definitely. That's a good question.
What about if they if you have a interview with the program director and you ask them about how is it like to be a program director?
Great. Yeah, you can ask that. How do you like to be a program director? How does it like to be a chief resident? You can ask that. That's a good, nice, open-ended question that you can ask anyone. Salman.
Yeah. So I had a question that what if the faculty has a lot of researchers in actually medical education, and is it wise to bring them up that I read this XYZ article and I wanted to know how have you implemented it in your residency, something like that.
Article, and where did you find that article, perhaps?
On the PD's Instagram. Oh, sorry, on his Twitter account. I saw that he posts a lot of articles that he's written or other people have written.
So how will you ask it?
So, for example, his latest article was something about making an AI tool that really picks out residents and Okay, so I haven't framed it, so that's why it might be a little raw right now. So he actually just put an article out as a joke that they try to make an AI tool that really lets you know who are the residents to pick during the interview sessions, saying the right things. And he asked his faculty, should we release this? And at the end, the joke was basically that we didn't get the government funding for the that was apparently the joke, that we didn't get the government funding for the AI tool, right? So I wanted to kind of bring it up that I was really looking forward in that article that I could find the tool and say the right things to you right now, but apparently you didn't make it, something like that.
Well,
Because
you
it's
can
something
say,
very specific.
so this was on Twitter, or where was this?
This is his personal article that he's written on the Graduate Medical Education Journal.
Okay. You can say, all right, something that was very intriguing. I believe you published in the Graduate Medical Education Journal, or whichever, regarding an AI tool to screen candidates for residency. Are we using that right now? All right, just keep it light, keep it easy. What do you
Okay.
think?
Yeah, but the thing was, he said at the very end that we didn't get the funding, so there's no AI tool. That was the joke apparently in the article.
Oh,
I was just trying to figure out, is there a way I can bring it up, even though I know he has no AI tool?
okay, so interesting. Well, I mean, Samir could tell you, you don't need to be, you need to spend money. There's no real money needed for these small little tools. It's very easy to build these things.
Yeah.
I think Samir has been working on some of these things. Yeah,
Mm.
you don't need funding to do these things these days. But anyway, you could ask for, yeah. Oh, actually, so yes, I definitely want to ask this. I think you had mentioned it was in this journal that you, I think, published on, and maybe it was a joke, perhaps, but that sounded very interesting. Do you want to share a bit more about your idea about how an AI tool could screen candidates?
Or what would be your criteria to filter in?
No, don't say that. Don't say that.
Okay.
They may say criteria that you don't meet.
Okay.
Don't
Okay.
ask for those hard. This will just be a conversational, joking, like you're sitting in a restaurant and trying to talk about, hey, what happened with this idea of yours? I mean, in
Okay.
a nicer manner. That my point is, you are just trying to converse
Hmm.
in a humanly manner, right?
Thank you. That was something I would have asked otherwise. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
thank you.
You know, I mean, this was a normal question that this actually is a normal question that a lot of people ask, but I think it's totally wrong.
Hmm.
That, okay, what are your criteria? What are the criteria that you're looking for in a resident?
Hmm.
That's like a shooting yourself in the foot. Oh, we are
Okay.
looking for 250 plus in all scores and 240 plus in step 3, and we're looking for individual with numerous publications and somebody with excellent communication skills.
Okay.
And we're trying to figure out if they are an empathic individual. Yeah, we're looking for that guy. You're not it.
Yeah, no one's it actually.
So it could end up like that. I mean, but it
Yeah.
depends on how much you piss the person off, or how
Okay.
bored is he after talking to the 100th resident today. 100
Okay.
right? So actually, I would avoid that. But a lot of people ask that question, use that question, but I think that's not good for yourself.
Okay. Just
So
stick to the AI tool and leave it at that, open-ended.
yeah, be open-ended, be conversational, be relatable, be someone that they would want to talk to.
Okay.
Right. So I mean, one of the main purposes of these type of sessions is so that people just talk, just learn to talk and be comfortable, and break those shackles.
Hmm.
That's the main purpose. Any other thoughts? Any other interview that you are going into that you may want to talk about? You maybe ask, okay, what do residents here do for fun, perhaps, if that was something not mentioned. What do residents do here for fun, perhaps? Are there any picnics happening or gatherings that the residents go to, perhaps? right? So something you can throw in there.
I think one of the sessions is also with chief residents in most programs. What do you think we should ask them to have an open-ended conversation at the end? If
A
anything?
chief resident session.
Yeah, most programs have a social session with the residents or chief residents. That's a separate session.
Social event. It's called
Okay.
social
Social
event.
event. Yeah.
You can ask Adina's question. How do you like being the chief resident? What's your day like? How many people have you sternly addressed in the last month? Okay,
That'd be really okay to ask.
yeah, that's a fun question.
Okay.
It's all about how you ask it.
Okay.
What are your plans after your chief resident year? Right, so a lot of people are looking for that particular specialty that they want to get into. Yeah, so just just be conversational, be yourself, and it's okay to ask a few, don't be rude, don't be disruptful, but be yourself, be casual. Just yeah, you could take a couple of these in case that is happening. Yes, anybody else with an interview coming up? Specifics, we can talk about specifics. Everybody should have an interview coming up, right?
Dr. Han,
yes.
I have a question. Like most of us who apply in the internal medicine also apply in the family medicine as well. So sometimes, most of the times, they ask us why you want to pursue family medicine when you have most of the rotations with the hospitalist inpatient rotations. So
Right.
what are the particular things that we should mention to differentiate it?
Well, you say that, well, that is correct. I think I have had internal medicine experience, but I do believe that I could be as good of a family medicine resident. And to be honest, I think that the lifestyle for a family medicine physician, the possible 8 to 5 job suits me as well. You end up getting weekends off, and that is something fairly attractive. And you do get to develop long-term relationships with your patients. And you may have new patients coming in. However, you tend to develop long-term relationships with your patients and families. And I think that is something that I can do. I can probably relish. And I think my personality is also in line with such. So yeah, definitely looking forward to be an excellent family medicine physician. So.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, very good. Anything else? Any other issues, controversies?
Sir, I want to ask about the research questions. Like there's a research and 5 authors are involved. Everyone has a different part. So maybe we don't have like full control, full knowledge of part of some other author. So how do we address the questions of the program director or the faculty regarding the research questions, and how much is the like minimum criteria we should prepare for the research?
So you're basically saying that you were involved in a research project and you don't know all the details about the project and how to answer about. So they will ask you anything in your CV. They will ask you, so tell me about this. What were you doing? You should at least know what you are doing. You should at least, of course, you need to know what was the project, what were the methods, what were the study material, what were the results, what were the outcomes, any changes that you recommend based on your research, any future scope with this research. So you definitely should know about whatever you have put down on your CV. And then, yes, you want to give me an example of what this project was and what you did in this project? So whatever you did, you should know that, you should clearly know that.
Right.
Maybe you want to give me an example?
Like, sir, for example, I got involved in basically the data collection part and some of the statistics. Like two authors were involved in basically data collection and statistics So
let
I
me
was
let me this. Okay, so Mr. Rao, so
Yeah.
you've been an author in this in this paper, in this research project. Can you tell me a little bit more about this study? Okay, now you answer.
So the study is basically comparing the effects of thiazolidinediones in the intensive care patients. Should I talk about the study which I was?
You're answering right now as you would in your interview. So I'm just trying to see, and then maybe we can get to some feedback.
Okay, sir. So basically, the study was about effects of the smartphone usage on social and academic life of students in Allama Iqbal Medical College. So this was our study, and it was a cross-sectional study done on the students of Allama Iqbal Medical College, like involving from first year to final year. And we were 5 authors. Basically, my part was data collection and doing the statistics part involved with the SPSS software. And the results of the study were remarkable. Like 67% of the students identified the negative aspects of smartphone on their academic life and probably social life. Maybe I am not able to put it like so clearly, but this is the crux.
Okay, so oh yes, I remember the study, and this was I enjoyed working on this on this paper. This was basically assessing the effect of social media and the use of mobile phones in an academic environment, such as at my medical school, Allama Iqbal Medical College. And we, the study participants included all medical students from first year up till final year of the medical school. This was a cross-sectional survey research project where I had the lead role in performing statistical analysis, and I used the SPSS software. And I ran this. You have to mention that you have to know this since you were the statistician. I mentioned this statistic, and the results were as follows. The number one result that we found was that students agreed that this was hampering their academic as well as social ability. By a factor of this, and then half the population said this, half the participants said this, and we concluded this, and yeah, this was an interesting study. Of course, this needs a lot more work, and this was a general study, but this definitely gave me a good piece of understanding how such studies can be conducted. Really good to know about the really. I'm really excited to share about this, and it was a general study, but I still enjoyed being part of it.
All right, sir.
You need to know, if you're a statistician, you need to know everything about the numbers and the statistics and whatever general number you should know about it. Anything that you know about, anything that you did.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Right. Okay. Anybody else? Anything specific?
So it has been asked in one of the interviews last year with one of my friends that what do you think we should rank? Where do you think we should rank you? At what number specifically? So how do you approach that kind of question? Like, so I think what he answered was like, it was a class of 12, so he answered like 4 to 5. And the next question from the PD was, why not 1?
Yeah, very easy to answer this question. How would you answer this question?
Now I would definitely answer, definitely I should be your top choice, but I think I'm confident enough that I'll bring my abilities, my skills that I honed all those years to your program. So definitely you should rank me in in top 3.
Okay, so I mean, you're telling them to rank the top 3, but you're like, Well, the Dr. Smith, I think you should rank me at the very top because I know what I bring. I don't want to belittle anybody else, but if you want to ask me this question, I think I am a pretty positive individual. I have great scores. I have this background. I do have significant US clinical experience, and I believe that I will hit the ground running. So if you ask me, I think you should rank me pretty high. Right? Just because don't be fishy and no, rank me high. No, don't, but yes, rank me high.
Yeah, okay. I got it.
It's all about how you say it. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I was not expecting to answer that question, but I was like, okay.
Well, you have interview. You have to just be confident.
Yes,
So there
I
are
got
exactly. So as you said, the person he said, "Oh, you should rank me 4th or 5th." So he said, "I mean, why should I even rank you at all? You're not even you're not confident in yourself. Why should I even rank you at all?" So,
Yes, okay. Got your
right.
point.
So the thing is, in life, nobody's gonna praise you unless you praise yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's with them anything. I mean, of course, you don't want to be a rocket scientist when you have done no physics, right? So, but realistically, so yeah, just be confident. Yeah. So you're there to present yourself in a positive manner, and you're there to show that you are confident. You're not timid. Just be positive, and that's why we're having these questions back and forth, and I'm asking you to present your answer, so we get you the feedback and you develop that strength. Now, okay, do it again. So Dr. Adina, okay, so we have lots of candidates today and yesterday and in the next coming weeks. Where should we rank you? You help me out, please.
Sir, I would definitely say you should rank me first, because I think I'm confident enough that I'll bring my skills and my abilities in your program, and I am a very good candidate. And my most of my skills and my expectations are aligned with your program. So definitely, I think it's a very obvious choice that you should rank me in top 3.
Yes, an obvious choice, of course. Why are you laughing? It's an obvious choice. Yes, you should rank me high.
Yeah, so I'm selling myself, but you have to be humble.
Well, you could say, I don't want to be, you have, if you just listen to my answer, I don't want to belittle anybody else, but I do know what I bring to the table.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
All right.
So you're being humble as well as boastful as well as arrogant, a little arrogant.
Yeah.
But you have to be arrogant in a measured manner. So that's yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So don't be, yeah. So that's a good to raise. Anything else that you guys are hearing? It was
Dr. Khan, I want to ask a question. Like I have heard a question like how many interviews you have got up till now and from where. So what should we tell them?
Legally, they're not supposed to ask that question. I mean, not legally, but they're not supposed to ask a couple of things. They're not supposed to ask your age. They're not supposed to ask, are you, how many kids you have or plan on having, or when you plan to start a family. They're not supposed to ask these questions legally. But this question they should not ask. But let's say if I ask you this question, so Dr. Hassan, how many interviews have you had so far and from where? How would you answer this?
I have 5 interviews up till now, and like I've just told them the names of the states generally.
Okay.
Like from 5 different states.
And what if they ask you which programs? Is that it?
When I just told them that I've got from 5 different states, then they moved to the next question.
Okay, so they didn't want to delve into it more because they know they're not reasonably supposed to ask the question.
Basically, like they asked me how many interviews you got in your last match. I told them I got 1, and then they asked how many interviews you got now. I told them 5, and then they asked from where. I told them from 5 different states, like just named them,
From
and
where?
they
Okay.
then they moved to the next question.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, they didn't really specifically ask the program itself, right?
I don't exactly remember, but I just told them the name of the states.
Okay, I'm thinking they probably asked from where. Normally that would mean which program was it. I would say it's okay to tell them, and you are in the interview and you want them to rank you, and I would say just tell them, unless it's yeah, I would just say tell them if they ask it. Don't hide it. That will just create some animosity, even though they should not be asking the question. I would say just answer it. Yeah.
And another question, what if they ask, like, do you know anyone from the program?
Sure, tell them, yeah. Oh yes, I know this individual. I was with him back in school or someplace else, and he shared some very positive points of the program. Yes, I definitely know this individual in the program, and yeah, I think he will. If I match here, I think he will definitely be a support for me.
What if the person doesn't have a good like reputation in the program?
That's a good point. Generally, I mean, residents do well generally, unless if that person is not good, then don't say it then. Yeah. If that person is, how do you know if that person is not good?
Exactly.
So, but you should have a certain idea about, okay, yeah, this senior was, pretty good, or this senior was not good. If they were good in medical school, they would probably be good in residency. So that's up to your judgment. If it's bringing in a positive influence on you, or it is proving to be a negative influence for you, that is going to be your positive or your judgment. Yeah.
So what they want to get from this question, like if we know someone from the program, or if we don't know someone from the program?
Well, it could be that you asked that person to get you the interview, and you got the interview because of that person, possibly, or they just want to know. That's fine. You can spin it in a positive manner. Yeah, he spoke really highly of the program. He spoke really highly about you. Okay, you could say that he spoke really highly about you, and I do believe this person will be a pillar of support for myself, and probably help out with any transition that I may need. So I think you're getting the theme. It's all about being positive. It's all about using all of these things and being positive. It's not just common sense stuff. We just need to rehearse it and get in the right framework. What is it? I'm losing my mind too. Frame of mind. Right?
Excuse me, Dr. Khan, can I ask a question?
Sure.
It's related to what Hassan said. So let's say they ask you if you know anyone in their program. Could they also perhaps then ask that resident what they think about you or what their experience has been with you in the past?
Yeah, they will ask that. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So again, it's your assessment whether that person thinks you're a jerk, or you are a good person, or you are studious, or you fought for something back in the day, right? Or you were in the opposite camp. So yeah, you have to think about this, but I'm pretty sure if you know about the person, you are in conversation with that individual, I think they will leave a good impression. They will want to leave a good impression for yourself or for you. I mean, normally what I've seen is, from my experience, if you were antagonistic with somebody else, when you become more of a professional, you tend to forget all the nonsense that you guys went through. So people do mature. I'm saying most people do mature, not all, unfortunately. So yeah, but just again, it's your understanding if that person is able to speak good about you, so yeah, it's your
I had-
personal understanding.
One other question too that was related to the previous topic question, basically, if they ask you about what other programs you've applied to, and let's say I tell them, but I also believe this program I'm interviewing with right now is the one that most strongly aligns with my career goals. So do you think that would be a good answer?
I'm sorry, can you say that
Kind of
again?
tell them like, so basically, let's say they ask me which other programs you've interviewed with or have an interview with, and I tell them I have interviews with, so and so programs, but then I also qualify that by saying that your program is the one that most strongly aligns with my interests, and like you're going to rank them number one if it's within the context of the ranking question as well. So just expressing your
you will definitely mention
stronger interest in
yes,
their program compared to
you'll
the
definitely
others.
mention yes. When you're answering that, you will not want to sound as if you're lying. You will confidently mention, yeah, this
Mhm.
program checks most, if not all of my boxes. It's
Mhm.
in a nice area,
Mhm.
good setting, good environment. The
Mhm.
city is nice, the town is nice. I like the outdoors. If it's in the rural area, I like the outdoors. I like the comfortableness of this environment. If it's a
Mhm.
city area, I love the hustle and bustle and would enjoy this city. If it's a community program, this rhymes with my connection and the desire to help patients. If it's an academic center, oh yes, I have great research. I have great potential. I believe I have great potential to actually be an excellent resident at this program. So you will list the positives, and yes, I think I will. Yes, I believe I will be ranking this very highly, if not the first.
Okay, thank you very much.
Just you gotta again frame it positively and get your thing out there.
Dr. Khan, someone
Yes.
was telling me like they are not supposed to ask you how you will rank them, and you are not supposed to ask them where they will rank you. Is it true?
Yeah, that's true. As we were discussing, a couple of questions they're not supposed to ask you, but if they ask you, you can't tell them, "Hey, boss, you can't ask me this question." Okay, you act as if you use this question for your benefit. You use this question for your benefit and respond positively, right?
What would be a nicer way to say that? Like,
Which
you
one?
can't ask me that question.
Where would you rank this program?
No, you can't ask me that question. How do I say that nicely?
No, I'm saying don't say that. I'm saying you use that question and answer that question and use it to your advantage,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay.
You don't say it, you use it to, yes, oh, wonderful, oh, good question. I think I love this program, and it has this, it ticks most, if not all of my boxes, like the location, like the academics, like the autonomy. It's a farther area from the city. I like the pay structure. I like your vacation package. I loved talking to your chief resident, yourself as well. Yes, I think I will be ranking this program very high, if not the first.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you will operate, right? So it's all about how you frame and how you use all of these things for your own advantage.
Is it okay if I ask a final question?
Sure.
So the question, I read it on a thread and I haven't been able to figure out the answer. So the question the faculty asked is that if you were give an example of when you were part of leadership team and how did you lead it to some a greater goal or something? How would you frame it as an example from your life?
So they're asking you the question.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, why not? Why? If you have, you probably mentioned that something in your CV, and they're looking they're looking at that specific aspect in your CV, and they want you to just talk about it. So how would you talk about it?
Oh, you're asking me now.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think the only experience I mentioned was the class rep one, and if he's asking me that, I'll just frame it. We had a we were a part of team always, and we mentioned something about that we were a team of all the reps that would always meet the faculty. That was called the Student Teacher Association Committee. We would bring up the problems our peers were facing, and as an example, I would say something like this happened, and this is how we came collectively, and we solved it, and we got a positive outcome. And I think that's the way I
It's
would
fine.
frame
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah,
It
no-
doesn't need to be, it doesn't need to be clinical, right? That's what I want to
No,
ask you
if
kindly.
they are, no, not if they, I don't think so. I think they're probably referring to what you put down in your CV. And if they ask for it from a clinical perspective, then you give an example from a clinical perspective.
I don't have that example. That's what I was trying to think
No,
about. Yes.
so, well, any physician on a clinical flow or from a clinical perspective is a leader, right? Whether you are a person in house job, did you do your house job or did
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, I did.
So you are a leader, right?
Okay.
So you are leading because you coordinate with nursing, you coordinate with the laboratory staff, you coordinate with blood bank, you coordinate with what do you call it? The people who get blood, what is that called?
Phlebotomist.
Lobotomists, right?
Yeah.
So you coordinate with X-ray people, so you probably have an idea. Okay, there was a patient. Yeah, well, yes, I believe I've had, I would say, minor leadership experience on the clinical floor, and I remember this was a busy night. Of course, it has to be a busy night. And on this busy night, there was one patient came in with significant respiratory failure. I believe the patient possibly had majorly a heart failure exacerbation, but he was a chronic smoker as well, and there probably an element of COPD. We tried to prevent intubation for this patient, and we attempted a BiPAP non-invasive ventilatory support for the patient. And in the busy environment, I realized that this patient needs more care than possibly some other patients. And that was tough. I believe that was tough. Our respiratory technicians were fully occupied. Our ER was overbooked, and we did not have the staff. I actually tried to get the care going for this patient. I got a firm attention from the respiratory tech, as well as imaging individuals for portable x-rays, as well as from nursing staff to look to address the needs of this patient. And yes, I'm happy to inform, although not all the patients, but this patient, I prevented an intubation. That's what I feel very positive about. And I think in a minor role, yes, that was a bit of a leadership role that I had on that day and those few hours in the emergency department. I just made this up.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
And what about leading a code blue? Because, in house jobs, sometimes there is not even residents. What do you
Right.
think about that as an example?
Yeah. So
I know this.
Yeah. So code blue. Okay. Oh, so they will ask you specifically about a code blue?
No, I was thinking the example that came to my mind was about leading a code blue or
Oh,
something.
definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. You
Okay,
want to
right. Thank you.
you want to give an example? You want to present it, or what do you think?
Sure.
All right.
Sure. So I remember as soon as we joined our internal medicine rotation, I was on my first call actually. I had done a few rotations that were not internal medicine, and a mother came crying to me. I was the only one in the ward at the time that her daughter had collapsed. As soon as I went, one of the nurses was doing CPR. There was no one else in the ward. I initiated CPR. I got the things done. I asked the ward boys to call the other residents. I asked to ask for help. I asked one of the other nurses to bring a defibrillator, and I asked all the attendants to leave the room to clear our space. We initiated the CPR. I did a few of the cycles of CPR independently. As soon as the senior resident came, we switched places, and one of us then was able to intubate the patient easily. And as soon as we plugged on the ECG, and we were able to defibrillate the patient, because at the time, thank God, the rhythm was shockable. And right after that shock, her pulses returned, and she lived another day. And I've been most proud of that case, actually.
Okay, yeah, you can say it. I think they will probably ask you questions in the middle. How many epinephrine did you inject, or did you need bicarbonate? What was the background of the patient? So just be ready for some questions.
Okay.
Just be ready for some
I was trying
questions.
to concise it, not to.
Yeah, that's
have a
fine. That's
very-
fine. I'm just saying that's fine.
Yeah.
Just be ready for answering questions.
Okay.
So for example, I think you mentioned that the nurse was already performing CPR.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you initiated CPR. So just be careful that you
Oh.
say that since the nurse was already, it seems, performing CPR for about 2-3 minutes, and she looks as if she was getting tired. I replaced her. I gave her other tasks, for example, to obtain an ambu bag. Subsequently, I called out for the ward boys to help get further care, further help, as well as to clear out the room of additional individuals or attendants, so we can have much bigger space. We were able to ventilate the patient through an ambu bag. Subsequently, the chief resident came around, who assisted further in securing the patient's airway. In this whole process, we administered the required medication. And while compressing, I was coordinating this activity around myself. It came to a time that the patient had a shockable rhythm, and patient did receive a shock. Subsequently, the patient regained spontaneous circulation, and I'm happy to report the patient did survive. And yeah, that was an event. I do remember that, and a bit of a small leadership role for myself. And yeah, good to refresh some of those old memories.
Thank you. That was actually a way better way.
Right. I mean, so
That's
that's what you do, right? So yeah, that's it. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for being here. And I don't know if it's morning, evening. Somebody has a hand raised. Dr. Nadeem.
Yeah, it's a little off topic, but like we tend to say wards a lot. And I know in the US, we don't usually see any wards anymore. So is it okay if we call wards, or do we have to call them departments or something else?
Ward is fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's okay. They understand.
Okay.
They say that you can qualify it. You can say we that generally did not have individual patients' rooms. We had wards where there will be 10 beds in a location.
Mm-hmm.
You can say that.
Thank
right.
you.
All right. Thank you so much. And I think we went over. All right. Thank you so much. And I think we have one last session coming up tomorrow, if I see. All right. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Dr.
very much.
Khan.